Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the Woo Woo Girls Guide to Infinite Wisdom with your host, Mary Oquendo, and the incomparable, the lovely, the funny Laura Sanger-Watkins. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Mary. Wow, what an introduction.
Yeah, wasn't that? I think I'm going to have you introduce me next time. What do you say?
Yeah, I'll have to start getting my thesaurus.
Yes. Today's topic is Sagittarius and Crystals. So I'm going to turn the floor right over to Laura.
Sagittarius. I have mixed feelings about them, only because technically, astrologically, they are my opposite, which means we're a lot alike and we can get on each other's nerves. But also, every single time I tried to date a Sagittarius man, I was wildly attracted to them, and it always blew up in my face. So, don't date a Sagittarius man if you're a Gemini. No, that's just me. Maybe you'll have better luck, and I hope you do. Sagittarius, they are born between November 22nd and December 21st, and their symbol is the archer, but if you look close, it's also kind of a centaur. So you've got half man, half horse. And I like to, I always talk about other signs that are like secret dual signs of the zodiac. Everyone talks about Gemini, the twins, and Pisces, the two fish. And when we talked about Scorpio, I told you about the eagle and the scorpion. Well, the Sagittarius, while not quite a dual sign, they do kind of have two sides to them. And what makes them so wonderful and fun is also what makes you kind of want to kill them. But remember, I'm very biased. Actually, I have a sister who's a Sagittarius, and she is delightful, so I can't even say that. Maybe it's just my issue with Sagittarius men. Sorry, Sagittarius men. I really do like you. When I wrote my blog post, I was trying to find a funny picture to illustrate what I considered what's a Sagittarius, what's all about. And I found one of a bicycle on top of a very, very, very high slide, like overlooking this huge valley, like from a great height. And the caption says, "Hold my beer." And I always joke that, like perfect example, I wrote, if you have ever worn a GoPro camera on your head while dressed as Darth Vader riding a BMX bike off your roof onto a trampoline, you might be a Sagittarius. They're not wild and crazy all the time, but they do love to have a good time. They're very spontaneous. They're adventurous. They naturally rule the ninth house. So Sagittarius, on one hand, while they're very earthy and like to have a good time, they are also very, they're a mutable sign, but they're a fire sign. So they're very passionate, and they tend to think from the gut and shoot from the hip, and they don't always think before they speak, and they're very honest people, and they can be accused of being blunt, but they don't have a mean bone in their body. If they say something that insults you, they weren't trying to insult you, they just they just said it without realizing how it sounded in their head before they said it. That happens quite a bit with them. They often then they feel terrible because the last thing they want to do is hurt anybody's feelings. Unless of course they've been crossed, but they really don't. They don't have a mean bone in their body. They have this weird sort of dynamic within themselves where they long for connection with other people, but they hate the idea of being trapped. So they tend to chew their foot off to get out of the trap without even realizing that they aren't trapped. It's like only in their head. So they kind of have a notorious fear of commitment. It's hard to pin them down. But it's not. But once they are comfortable and happy in a relationship, like they're committed. It's almost like something they have to get over within themselves, and they usually get over it by their first Saturn return, like when they turn 27-ish. So if they seem kind of slippery in the earlier years, just wait them out. They'll come around. They very much live in the now. They are very focused on the future and the far horizons. And it's not that they're not sentimental, but they don't really like to dwell on the past, and they care very much more about what's going to happen next rather than what's already happened. They're natural, like they don't like to rehash things. Like I think I mentioned, okay, they don't have a dark side, but I said they kind of have a shady side because they're very honest, but they do lie by omission, mostly because they don't like to get into big things with people. Like they don't want to tell you an unpleasant truth. They feel bad, and they hate having long, hashed out emotional conversations. You know, they don't want to like discuss it forever. They just kind of want you to get to the point and just give them reasons. So if you are in communication with a Sagittarius, if you can think in your head the main points, almost like bullet points, like what you want to get across to them, do that because you'll save yourself both a lot of drama, because after a while they're going to start getting antsy and they'll start telling you anything just to get out of the room because they can't handle those long, intense. And it's not to say that they're not emotional. They are. It's just they hate talking about it for really long periods of time.
So they can be easily manipulated.
Kind of, yeah, sort of. I mean, like they're kind of honest, and you know they don't. You know, that's the thing. Like they won't see a Scorpio or a Cancer coming. You know what I mean? Because, like, yeah, Cancer and Scorpio can definitely play these people like a violin, pretty much, because they just don't have that emotional, manipulative thing. They just want to get to the point and get out. You know, but they're mushy love muffins. They're really fun, but you know they don't like talking about it. They're very impulsive. That kind of goes along with the whole like speaking without thinking thing. They take impulsive actions sometimes before really thinking it through. And you know, the good news is they're not afraid of making mistakes because they know they can change their mind and get out of it. So they'll try anything. They're very bold. Even the shy ones have certain areas in their life where they're not shy at all, and they'll take, you know, if someone says to you, I'm going to drop everything and drive to California, like, they'll be like, yeah, let's do it. They won't try to talk to you like, why would you want to do that? They're giving up all this stability. They're like, let's go explore. The ninth house is all about spiritual exploration, foreign lands, foreign people, higher education like college or even, you know, beyond. And they love to learn, and they want to explore the world. And unlike a Gemini that wants to learn everything and then turn around and like spit it all out and talk you to death and teach you everything, Sagittarius just adds it to the backpack of their life experience, and they love to experience new things. So if you want to manipulate them, promise them that you're going to take them somewhere they've never been. You know, you want to show them a good time.
Or just keep talking.
Right, and then you can make them leave the room. But they have a lot of
I'll stop talking if you agree to this.
Right. That might work. They have a lot of like pent up energy, so they need, like, they're a sign that needs like some kind of, they need to be out there and get physical, otherwise they will get backed up and cranky. They have that like they need to burn it off somehow. I mean, they can also do it by experiencing things that are new to them. You know, they love to chase the novelty, but that doesn't mean that they're like, you know, they're not like that about people so much. They're not like, they don't flit from one. I mean, some might, but I'm thinking of the boys I tried dating, but just, you know, they're not like, oh, next. I mean, they definitely can be committed and grounded. I mean, it also depends on the rest of their chart. One of the things that they don't like too is they have a really hard time taking criticism. They don't think that they're always right. It's not so much that, but it's really hard for them to take even constructive criticism. They react to it really horribly. You know, they take it personally, they get angry and defensive, and they might like bite back. Even if you're like just trying to tell them something for their own good, or, you know, even try to be, you know, they don't take it well. I mean, not everybody takes, you know, not most people don't take it well, but they really don't take it very well. What else do I need to know? So one of the things that I think about, you know, they're mutable and they're fire. So they need grounding for sure. And they also need maybe some water stuff to kind of connect them to their heart, because they act more from the gut, and they will act from the heart. But sometimes, too, they need, even though they're a mutable sign, they don't have a whole lot of that clear thinking stuff because they have that fire nature. What I suggested what would enhance their signs, the traditional birthstones for November are citrine or topaz, and then December is turquoise. Or I don't know what they're using now because it's hard to find turquoise, but those are the traditional. So both of those stones will enhance Sagittarius energy. But other good stones that I thought would really help them would be azurite, blue-lace agate for sure because of their mouth, tanzanite, malachite, sodalite, and sugilite. Or is that sugilite?
I think it's sugilite.
I think of sugar when I see it, but sugilite, yeah. But blue lace agate in particular, because I like to think of that as the speak nicely stone.
Yeah, the blue lace agate is definitely a communication stone. When I'm speaking, if it's something new for me, a new group, a new topic or something like that, I always put a blue lace agate there because yeah, that's definitely a communication stone.
Well, plus two, I mean, and I also threw in the other third, and I was looking at the, third eye and the crown chakra, but mostly the third eye and the throat chakra stones, because the clear head to speak, maybe it would give them enough of a pause before saying things that they might regret later, because they feel terrible if they hurt people's feelings. I've never met a Sagittarius that like really enjoyed hurting people. The stones that I thought would help and like kind of balance with a little bit of water energy, since I picked a lot of the bluer stones before some of the water. So I mean, lapis again helps with the thinking and also the speaking. But I also thought fluorite would help, and rose quartz, of course.
Well, I noticed that you have a lot of green stones. You have the rose quartz, the amazonite, and the prehnite. I love prehnite.
Yeah,
Prehnite's one of my
me
favorite
too.
stones.
I'm really getting to like it.
Yeah, you know what? In Connecticut, it's a fairly common stone. So in Connecticut, you can find prehnite a whole lot cheaper than other parts of the country. But
nice.
There you got the three. I noticed here with the water signs, you put three. Actually, if you look at it, 4 heart stones, because you have the fluorite, and the fluorite is a clarity stone, and a lot of it is green. So you've chosen 4 stones that have to do with the heart, and 2 specifically for communications, because you have the lapis and the aquamarine, which is also a good speaking stone. And then threw in some really good clarity stones, which, of course, is the fluorite again, and the selenite, and the amethyst. So this is a really nice combination here that you came.
I was thinking about it too, because I happen to have I got a lot of love bugs in my life that are Sagittarius, and I see them do it, and then I see them cringe, and and it's not that they do have those feelings. I mean, it's not like they're completely cut off from their emotions. They're not. It's just that there's so much of that inner going on, and of course not being very grounded in general, that it's hard for them to connect to that. And so I did kind of choose a lot of heart stones so that they could get past, and of course the grounding stones that I pick for everybody, tourmaline.
Well, also, just going back to the lapis lazuli, it contains pyrite. That's what makes lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli is the pyrite. And the pyrite is also a very good grounding stone, and it's also a good personal power stone. Your sense of self. So, if I had to look at all of these stones that you chose and I had to give like a stone to a Sagittarius, I would choose the lapis for that reason, because you have the blue in there, which is a higher vibration stone, so it helps with clearer thinking. Then you got the pyrite, which is your grounding and your sense of self stone. So I would, if I had to give a stone to a Sagittarius, I probably would choose this lapis here.
Cool. I'm thinking now maybe I can hook my sister up for Christmas. Hook her up with some lapis. My other sister's a Scorpio. So we're fun. You get the 3 of us together. Woo!
Yeah, I mean, and maybe throw in, if you could do some jewelry, take the lapis and then add a heart stone to it. Maybe the prehnite would go really nice with that.
Yeah, that would look really good together. I definitely love the prehnite. I'm trying to think of other good things about Sagittarius, because I feel like I talked mostly about their bad things. They're really good on a team at work because they're idea people. And their ideas come from the gut. They're not thinking too hard, and a lot of times because it almost seems like it comes out of nowhere, because they have that, again, like a lot of the other fire signs, they shoot from the hip. So like they might just throw out a bunch of crazy stream of consciousness, but it might be really innovative and interesting. So, they're really good at coming up with ideas. They're not the greatest at follow through. That's that mutable stuff. which is why, they probably need more grounding than most the other fire signs. Leo is a fixed sign, so they're very down to earth. And then you've got your other fire sign, Aries, which is a cardinal sign, and they're pretty out there, pushy and aggressive, and they're pretty grounded too, in general, just because cardinal signs, they're the doers. So, our friend Sagittarius, like they mutable is sort of like a combination of both, but not strong enough of either. They're a little grounded, they're a little pushy or like motivated or dynamic, but they're not a lot grounded or a lot dynamic. They're a little bit of both. So most mutable signs need more grounding than all our other signs because of that.
Very cool. I have seen your astrological jewelry, and it is phenomenal. And I saw the one you did for a client that was Sagittarius, and it's absolutely lovely. Now, if somebody wanted to find you for you to make them some astrological jewelry, how would they find you?
I am on Etsy, and I have a Facebook page, and you can always find Elemental Mercury Jewelry on Facebook, and then private message me if you want to go that way. Or on Etsy, you would do Etsy, Etsy.com / and then you do shop / and it's Elemental Mercury, no spaces.
Don't we also have a link on our website with the Woo Woo Girls Guide to Infinite?
We do.
Yes, so if you go to our website, the Woo Woo Girls Guide to InfiniteWisdom.com, we do have a page. Let me get the tab up on it. I think it's Buy Our Stuff. So that might be the actual tab that it's under. I'm going to go check that right now and see what it is, but I'm pretty sure we have you up there. We'll also, let me find the contacts, Buy Our Stuff. And there it is.
I will tell you that it's a really popular Christmas gift. Last Christmas, one of my good friends asked me to make one for her daughter, so I did her daughter's chart. I made a piece of jewelry. I brought it to her, and it happened to be at this Christmas party she had. Well, based upon what the other women saw, that necklace I made my friend's daughter, I ended up walking out of that party with 4 orders.
So get your orders in quickly.
Well, I also, too, if you want to see other examples of work I've done, I'm also on Pinterest. I'm Laura Sanger Watkins on Pinterest. And I have my very first board is all the things that I have made, Elemental Mercury, handmade jewelry. So I have a lot of different examples of other astrological pieces that I've made. I've done bracelets, and I've done cascade necklaces, and I've even done like a chain type of a necklace for somebody who was more of a tomboy and didn't want to have like a dangly, sparkly thing. So I can do pretty much anything.
Awesome. That's very nice. Usually when we do these things, I can like pinpoint a particular person that this applies to. You know what? I don't think I know any Sagittariuses. Or,
how can you? You must know somebody.
I'm sitting there, who do I know that's born? And then I'm thinking, let's go with this photo here, hold my beer. See, this would be my brother. So my brother is June, oh God, when is his birthday? June something, June 11th or something like that.
Oh, well, that's Gemini. Well, see, there's similar energy, just different expression. Hold on one second. I'm switching phones because this one is about to die. But yeah, Gemini. Some Geminis will be like that too. I mean, I've done some pretty stupid things in my life that I'm not proud of, and most of the most fun things start with, "Hey, hold my beer."
Yeah, no, I mean, I could actually picture my brother sitting on this bike.
That picture is the best.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I have a friend who's a Sagittarius, one of my friends who's moved far away, but he is like one of the most masculine men that I know. I mean, he looks really masculine.
I take this back. I do know a Sagittarius. It's my granddaughter, Violet.
Better keep her off those high sliding boards.
Oh, my goodness.
My friend Paul is a Sagittarius, and like I mentioned, he's super masculine. But when they said to him, listen, we need another drag queen for this show, he shaved his beard and goatee, threw on drag, called himself Stevie Dix.
Okay, that was funny.
At the last second. But see, he's a Sagittarius. He's the kind of guy that would do that.
No, my brother would not do that.
He's like, all right, you need a drag queen, I'll do it.
He might dress up, but he wouldn't. He's actually clean shaven, but I tell you, he would not if he had a beard shave it for that.
Well, I guess Paul knew it would grow back pretty fast, but I laughed because he's not exactly the most delicate of men, so to see him in drag was a trip. But see, no shame at all, no shame in his game at all. He looked great. He's got great legs. He went for it. So I laugh because if any of my friends were going to do something like that at the last second, it would be a Sagittarius.
Okay, but that's interesting to know. I'm going to have to really keep an eye on my granddaughter.
Well, hang on.
You think I should give my daughter?
Good time.
You think I should give my daughter a heads up or just let it go?
Well, that might be more fun if you just kind of let it happen.
Hey, you know what? I might do that
Sit back and watch.
You sit back and watch because I distinctly remember my daughter it might be because I just distinctly remember my daughter as a teenager.
See, it's the best revenge. Just wait around and watch their kids end up being just like them. My mom cursed me with that. She said, someday you're going to have a kid just like you. And so far, so good, but although, my Gemini son is definitely a little more frighteningly like me than the other one. He goes to UConn, and today on the social media was blowing up about some kid that pitched a drunken fit at the cafeteria because they didn't have bacon jalapeno mac and cheese, and he got into it with the manager and ended up being wrestled to the ground and beaten up. So I copied and pasted that article and I sent it to my son up at UConn, and I said, hey, you didn't tell me they had jalapeno bacon mac and cheese. I'm like, this guy? Is he your friend? And he wrote back and he made a sad face and he wrote, he was my best friend. And so I laughed because that is so Tyler. Like I always expect a serious answer and I never get one. Oh, bacon jalapeno mac and cheese. Doesn't that sound great? I would almost pitch a drunken fit if they didn't have it and they said they offered it. I mean, that's very disappointing.
Right. So that's like a real dish.
Yeah. They allegedly serve it at the student center up at UConn. So I was very upset that Tyler was holding out on me because if I had known that they had that there, man, I would have stopped at the student center earlier. I didn't know. Give me some.
I might pass.
Well, I might like it. See, that's the Gemini impulsivity. I'll eat it, but then I'll be really sorry later.
Yeah, I'm thinking, you know what, that might be really tasty, but I'm pretty sure if I ate that, I'm going to pay for it.
Yeah, my stomach will be very sad. It'll go, why did you do this to me? The mouth will be all like, yeah. The stomach will be like, why?
Because that's kind of the way I feel about real White Castle burgers, not the stuff that you get in the frozen aisle of your supermarket.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. I used to date a guy that lived in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, back before it became hipster central, and that was something he would pick me up and we'd drive over the bridge and go. He's like, we got to go to White Castle. So I was like, all right, because I'm from the suburbs. What do I know? He got me all strung out on those sliders.
Oh my God! You know what? I will eat those knowing I will pay for that.
They do a number on you.
And you want a big old sack of it too. If it's gonna do a number. We're going to go all out with it.
All in. Well, Sagittarius wouldn't think twice about it either. They'd say, gimme the sliders.
Well, you know what? After the next show after this, and don't hold this to me or anything like that, but the next show after this will be in the middle of November. I think this will be in the middle of November. I think it'll be the end of November. So I might do something on pets in the holidays.
Ooh.
Or maybe I'll swap it out and we'll do pets in the holidays and you'll be like, but Mary, you already did that show.
Well, Well, pets in the I mean, I'm always interested to hear about pets in the holidays. I mean,
You know what? I
granted,
think we will do that. I think we will swap this out. This show will be the end of December, the end of November, which is where it should be anyway. And
yes,
I think we'll do a Pets in the Holiday one instead. So ignore all of this. Okay? All right. So I'm going to end it up for the night. And thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Good night.